In this accelerating world, our body is exposed to harmful effects and irritations every day. Our respiratory system gets polluted on a large scale, even on an average day, either hurrying to work or just walking outdoors. The number of cases of allergies, asthma, and other respiratory diseases has increased hugely in recent years. Asthma is the most widespread disease of childhood, which can cause allergy in 90% of the cases. Pollution, active or passive smoking, different chemicals used in everyday life, and parasites surrounding us are responsible for the development of these diseases. But what kind of possibilities are there, either to prevent or efficiently treat lower or upper respiratory diseases? B&M's unique Saltpipe helps to solve these problems. Its use facilitates respiration and promotes natural recovery since salty air can efficiently prevent several respiratory diseases.
The B&M salt inhaler has been tried by doctors as a treatment of their patients with asthma, allergy, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Already, after 3 weeks of use, the shortness of breath and cough attacks during the night stopped, or they became shorter in duration. Thus, using the salt inhaler contributed to the better functioning of the respiratory system. Moreover, using 3 times a week for 15 minutes has reduced the frequency of infections.
Saltpipe can efficiently decrease the symptoms of, first of all, asthma, croup, and allergy. I often recommend it to my patients in case of respiratory infections because it helps to clean the respiratory system. It is a very efficient complementary method not only in case of mild, but also serious respiratory diseases as well. Even, for instance, in case of the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, it can be an effective complement to the medicinal treatment. Inhaled salt grains are able to completely pass through the respiratory organs and dissolve into the mucus layer covering its surface. This mucus's osmolarity increases, taking up more water, which results in loosening and emptying mucus easier. Moreover, it kills bacteria and pathogens multiplied in this area. Salt is the most important nutrient of the human body and soul. Although most people think about it as food, salt caves and mines have been used for centuries in the treatment of respiratory diseases, and it is widely known that inhaling salty air has a good effect on our lungs. Different salt therapies can very efficiently be used in the treatment of respiratory system-related diseases. This method has a very long curative history, mostly in the Middle East European region, where parts of salt caves and mines have been used for centuries, especially for this purpose. Several researches and clinical studies have further supported the effectiveness of the method in the last 30 years. The Saltpipe from Transylvania is one of the world's best quality salts, containing 84 different types of mineral substances and with high prehistoric sea mud content, which many refine and use in medicine for treating various problems. Mud is not subtracted from the Saltpipe, so it is a very effective balm with its unique oil essence against diseases and persistent problems.
Peter has been suffering from croup since his childhood. Even the first symptoms were very frightening, but later, instead of the medicine, suffocations were very frequent. It was very worrying because the symptoms became much worse with an occasional childhood infection. According to the recommendation of the pediatrician, we started to go to salt rooms and salt therapies to abate coughing and suffocation. This seemed to help, but we had to go very often, which needed a lot of money and time with which we could hardly cope. Then one of my friends advised the Saltpipe. She said that only the correct breathing techniques should be taught to the kid who would be able to use it on his own later on as well. It worked. His symptoms abated a lot with the use of the salt pipe, and finally, he got over the occasional diseases faster. We are so glad to have this useful product. We take it along everywhere, and since then, I have also bought one for me and one for my husband too, so we can also use it in case of respiratory infections.
The salt pipe is technically the mobile version of salt cave therapies. The salt bag inside contains Miocene halite salt crystals directly from the salt mine of Puroid. The very resistant crushed rock salt is specially sized in the salt bag. The surface of the salt grains is optimal, and it is specially suitable for the salt therapy treatment. The salt bag is removable, which makes its use hygienic. The porcelain salt pipe made in Herend is very long-lasting, of high-quality implementation, and it can be easily sterilized. These latter qualities make it unique at the market. This is why clinics and health centers like this product especially. The salt pipe can help our body in almost countless ways, but mostly those feel its positive effect, of course, who are suffering from respiratory difficulties like asthma or allergies.
I have been suffering from allergies ever since I was a little kid. All those who also have allergies know that it is often accompanied by runny nose, cough, or in my case, it even causes shortness of breath and inhalation. The worst is when the attack comes at night when I'm sleeping. My doctor suggested to visit salt caves, salt therapies. It was especially useful, but unfortunately, one cannot find salt caves just around the corner. So I had to find a simpler solution that would help me manage my symptoms. I heard about the benefits of B&M salt inhaler. I got one, and since then, I have been using it everywhere, in the car, at work, or even in restaurants. It greatly reduced my symptoms. My body does not get tired of coughing and sneezing by the end of the day. I could even reduce the amount of medication taken. I'm glad that I have mobile salt cave in my pocket every day.
The salt crystals in the salt pipe clean the respiratory system, loosen the tense muscles from allergy, which we use for breathing, and moreover, they tear open the settled tar in our lungs. The use of the salt pipe makes our dreams better since during sleeping more oxygen reaches our brain. It helps giving up smoking as it reduces psychic deprivation symptoms, and it continuously hydrates our nose and throat in dry and air-conditioned environments. I smoked a packet of cigarettes a day for 20 years, but then, at the birth of my grandchild, I gave it up. A difficult period followed after having given up smoking because I continuously coughed up mucus. My lungs hurt and I was breathing with difficulty. The use of the salt pipe facilitated clearing the mucus very much, and since then I've been breathing more deeply. Nobody smokes in my family, but if we go somewhere people do, we take along the salt pipe to avoid the harmful effects of passive smoking. The B&M salt pipe is an excellent device, which brings a curative salt cave's respiratory cleanse effect to your home, with help of salt crystals brought to the surface from the natural salt mine of Puroid. This is a certified Meditechnical device.